Hello there, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a good day today. If you're in the Philippines, it's early in the morning for you right now. Here in Canada, it's 2 in the afternoon, 2:41 in the afternoon. So your day so far has been great, and hope the weather's warming up a little bit here, late March, and we're still dealing with minus 16 was the temperature here this morning. A little on the chillier side. Heavy winds yesterday too, so I hope that weather's picking up for you wherever you're at here today. And whenever you're watching this too, hope you're having a good day. So what I'm going to be talking about here today is, on our video, is some of the software I use when, that I used to create the design of the house that we're going to be building in the Philippines. Now I've got a lot of things going on how I want to do this and what we're going to do. I initially went from having this big mansion that we were going to build, coming to the realization after a lot of conversations with the wife and other people, watching a lot of YouTube videos myself, people who are already living in the Philippines, come to realize that for my wife and myself, right off the bat, initially, we're not going to need anything big. In fact, we're probably never going to need anything as big as what I had envisioned, what I had designed. I can show you the pictures of that here in a bit. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. But so I've gone through a lot of different design changes here, and also not just that, but how I'm going to get to the build itself. Now, initially, I was going to build the house, and then I was going to build like Airbnb cabins or rental cabins all around the property afterwards. And then I kind of migrated to the idea of why not build the cabin first, and then I can live there while I'm building the house. And that's a really good idea too. So I'm tossing back and forth on that. We might go both ways on that, who knows. I'm also throwing the idea in of just building cabins, period. Why do we need a big house? Philippine people are all about family and social interaction. And there's really not a big need to have a big house. If I can build a social environment that is sheltered from the weather outside, maybe a large pavilion outside by a pool, patio, outdoor dirty kitchen, the whole works. If I can create that environment, that might be the better solution to go about. So this is why I've created a bunch of different designs. I'll show you a couple of them here and the software that I use. Now primarily I'll reach out to Blender. I've learned Blender a long time ago, and I actually love this program. I use it for creating my 3D designs. I don't have one right hand. Well, actually, here I do right here. This here is a little electronics box. Right there, you can't really see inside there too much, but there is a little display LED and there's a circuitry inside there. I can take this apart here and show that too. But the purpose of this box is, I can't open that file. I got it opened up differently here. The purpose of this box is to, there it is right there. Just like took a screw out to hold it, and there's a circuitry inside. Now what this does, it's got ports in there, and I can use this to actually protect the electronic circuitry of my truck. So I can wire something directly into the battery, and what this does is it protects the battery. It'll keep the voltage of the battery. If it drops below a certain voltage, this will shut off that circuit and prevent my battery from being drained completely. So didn't find that file. I'm gonna have to open it up manually here. It's having a hard time finding it. I'm opening it up. What's going on here? Well, Blender just seems to be struggling as a whole. Who knows? Well, I can end that. If I got a program that's hanging like that, it's quick and easy fix for me like that. It immediately cleans it out and the whole works. Let's try that again here. Blender opening up. Oh, you know what might be causing the problems is I have my VPN connected here. So let's disconnect that and turn that off here. And let's try that again. See if it lets me in there or it gives me any problems. I might actually have to restart this session. No, it fired that up right away. Now I do use a virtual private network quite often. So this is the initial cabin that I've created here. Let's look at it in picture view. Let's turn the camera view off. And here we go. That's the cabin I initially designed here. I'm going to take the roof off here. I'll show you what it looks like. Let's take some of the imagery down a notch here. The graphics quality down a notch here. Just to, well, actually didn't make too much difference, did it? This is the direction the afternoon sun will come in. So those shadows that are being cast are exactly what the afternoon will look like on this particular cabin. This is cabin number 1. Looking at it from the top, that's the king size bed right there. Here's the CR right there. And this is what it'll look like. This plumbing right there will be for the shower. And then this plumbing over here is going to be for the wash basin right there. And you can see the toilet's already in place there. I don't have everything else built for that. You can see I've got some of the plumbing where it'll head out to the septic system out there already in place. I've got water coming in from this side over here too. And I'll tell you about that later. Each cabin, what I decided I might do is each cabin might have its own little pool area right there, maybe a little bigger than what I've got here. And the pools, I'm not going to go with traditional chlorine for keeping the water clean. I'm not going to go with salt water either. And not your traditional filtration system, because the pool filters and everything, they consume a lot of electricity and they require a lot of chemicals and stuff. A consumable that you're always having to replace and always having to buy. What I will have is a water pump, and it'll pump water from the bottom of the pool here somewhere, and it will cascade it. It'll waterfall up into the top of this planter up here. And as you can see, that water will eventually channel and waterfall, cascade all the way down through the rest of these planters and then fall back into the pool. Each of these planters are going to have aquatic plants and everything in it, along with sand and charcoal and rocks. And the purpose of that, it's going to create a biofilter. And therefore, when you got the water, constantly running water running through that, and you have circulation in your pool, number one, helps keep bugs out. Number two, that biofilter will keep the water crystal clean and pure, and you don't need to add any chlorines or anything else in order to keep that pool water clean, keep that algae out of the system. So that's what our plan is. As the roof itself is going to overhang all this, so you can see the afternoon sun, even the morning sun will come in from this angle here, and these aquatic plants will get some light in the morning, but by 10 o'clock you can see that sunlight's pretty much going to be disappearing. It's going to be, everything else is going to be under shade by then. And then this will be the afternoon. This will be about 4 in the afternoon, and this is what the sun's going to get at this point. You can see the sunlight is going to be hitting the pool, and on this side of the pool, I don't have it in this picture yet, but I'm planning to have some vegetation, some trees, banana trees possibly, some papaya trees, maybe dragon fruit along there as well. And it's going to cast shadow on that afternoon sun, and again, keep it off the pool. Number one, keeping that direct sunlight off the pool helps reduce the creation of algae. So, and not only that, it allows people to enjoy the pool in the afternoon without having to worry about the sun beating down on them and cooking them. So that's the plan there. And same with this patio over here too. It's going to have, I'm almost thinking of a pergola going along I'm showing the hand across, a poloka going right across the side over here as well. And it'll cast shade along this patio and keep people nice and cool. So that's what it looks like in Blender. So Blender, this is my primary go-to. I use this for pretty much everything. I love Blender. I can create animations with Blender. Can do a lot with it, and it's free. All this software I have on my computer is all free. The other software I'm learning right now, and I have to learn this. I've used it before. I've got a lot of experience with it, but this is not. This is actual CAD software. It's called FreeCAD. It's been around for not quite as long as Linux, but it's been around for a long time. It takes a little bit to load up here. There's a lot of components behind it, but it's taken a few minutes to load up. Not as long as it used to, simply because I had a theme running in the background before, and it took a lot of configuration. Every time you started it, it would have to reconfigure it. And let's recover that up. So this here is that same cabin. As you can sort of see, I don't have all the doors and windows and everything in it yet. But this is what FreeCAD does. And the nice thing about FreeCAD is, for instance, I can look at the CAD program and I can get all my dimensions. But not only that, I can create my IFC documents and everything from this. So let's close this and get back into that. And now from here I can actually start creating my IFC information and documents. That's all. Where is that located? We're here on this side here. These are my annotation documents and everything. But I can create IFC documents, and that's what the engineer in the Philippines is going to need in order to me to go ahead, present this, for them to approve it, stamp it, and get that permit, any permits that are required for this. Now, for what this is, being a cabin, I don't know what permits are going to be required. Where I'm building this is actually on a, it's basically on a lava shelf, ancient lava shelf of a long since dormant volcano. And it's all rock underneath. So it's not like I have to dig down and dig foundations in, like when you build a house here. Like in Grand Prairie here, you didn't need to build big footer pedestals in on the bottom of each column or anything like that, but you still had to build a proper foundation. You had to build a pad and or a slab, as we call it here. And that's basically the same thing I'm going to do over there. I'm not going to need to dig all the foundations and everything in. Looking forward to getting this all done and learned. FreeCAD, all this software. Let's just close this up. Hit save on that. All this software is free. I've converted completely over to Linux here now. If I wanted to, I can boot the system in my laptop up into a dual boot or into a Windows 11 Pro environment. I rarely ever do that. In fact, the only time I ever do that is if I am absolutely mind blown and I need to just get away and play a video game. I can install video game software on this Linux, but I don't want to. I have no intention to. I don't play games enough to want to worry about it, and I won't. So right now I still have a game installed that I sometimes play on Windows, and if I boot into Windows, it's only for that reason. I don't trust Windows anymore for any of my business, any of my personal life, nothing. Knowing what I know about Windows, about Microsoft and the direction they've gone, and I'm not just being critical of their subscription-based software licensing and everything. I'm talking specifically about how they've taken control of your system completely. So like, even for instance, if you've bought, Dell makes good computers, but Dell is having a lot of problems here right now because Microsoft, if you buy a Dell computer, you have to make a change. First thing you should do is make a change in your BIOS and turn off a feature that would allow Windows to automatically update your BIOS. And the reason why you want to do that is Microsoft has been pushing out updates to people's computers. And I'm not going to say deliberately, but some people over here and some people over here who have the exact same computer as these people, well, these people, for some reason, their BIOS gets corrupted and it crashes the computer, and you have no choice but to send that computer into a reputable Dell technician who can reflash that BIOS chipset. This isn't something you can do at home. You can't open it up. You have to have a BIOS reader. I don't even have one of those things here. And so this is the kind of stuff that's been going on here. Microsoft has been, I'm just going to use the word accidentally, bricking people's computers, corrupting the BIOS. And when that happens, you cannot boot your computer. Your computer is nothing but a boat anchor at that point until you get it repaired. And it doesn't matter if your computer's 10 years old or if it's 2 months old. It's been happening. So there's that on top of everything. So I'm not going to go into all the security reasons why I don't trust Microsoft anymore. I've said that in other videos. But for that reason, I've pretty much dropped Microsoft. I've been moving everything off of my OneDrive, Microsoft OneDrive, and putting it on a local NAS device here, network area storage device that I have set up here at home. And I can access it by cloud once I get it set up. And then move completely away from Microsoft, completely. And I plan to do the same with Google. I'm going to become minimalistic with Google. The only thing I'm going to have is a Gmail account that I can use to connect to my phone. And when it comes to data and email and everything else on there, I'm going to be deleting it all off of OneDrive, off of the Google Drive. And again, it's going to be stayed on my local NAS device, stored in my local NAS device. So that's the route I'm going with that. That's the technology I'm using. Absolutely love Linux. Linux, this is all free. The only thing I had to buy, and I already owned it, was my laptop. And this is a powerful laptop, but you don't need a powerful laptop to run Linux. This laptop is about 8 years old, and it still works good. I've replaced a few parts in it. I've got a new hard drive in there. I've got a new No, I don't have new memory sticks. Just a new hard drive in there. I got a new battery in there, and I've taken it all apart, cleaned it all, put new thermal paste and everything in there. So it is working slick, and it is handling this Linux without a problem. So that's my only investment. I have no subscriptions to Microsoft. Going through this, I've got full access to free software. I've got my free CAD program. I've got software such as this, LibreOffice, right there. And that's basically the same thing that opened up on my other screen here. That's basically my same thing as Write document, that's your Microsoft Word. Calc spreadsheet, that's your Microsoft Excel. Impress presentation. That is technically, it's a combination between a couple of programs. And I'm not going to get too complicated or too involved in it, but that's your Microsoft PowerPoint being one of them, and your Microsoft Visio being another one. It kind of combines both of those together. Now, Microsoft Visio doesn't come with your Office package. That's something you have to buy over and above. So it's base database. That's your Microsoft Access. So, and this is all free. You can donate to these, but it's all free. And all the software you see up there, free. So this is the other thing. Now I can completely rig out my system here with very powerful software, video editing software, CAD software, animation building software, 3D printing and design software, and complete Office suite. On top of that, rig it all out, and it doesn't cost a single thing. Now, if you're nice, you want to contribute, you really like this, and you say, you know what, I'm going to contribute. I'm going to send these guys $10 or $20 or $50. because I think this is great and I want to support their work. They do obviously take donations, but you're not required to. I know I have donated, for instance, Blender. I think about a year and a half ago, I sent them like $150 because I was absolutely blown away with what I could do with it. The software itself was probably worth $1,000, but nonetheless, so I did make that donation. Well, anyways, so there you go. That's the software I'm using. We're going to be leaving here in another, what are we talking about here? Another 9 days. We're going to be heading to Edmonton, getting on a plane. Actually, I correct myself, 7 days. 1 week from today, we'll be getting on that plane and flying to the Philippines. Yeah, going to have lots more videos after that. In the meantime, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Hope you enjoyed it, found it informative. Let me know in the comments if you would like me to talk about specific subjects about computers or about design. If you want to follow through with me, I do have a couple of videos already on there on using Blender to create this or create that. If you want to follow along with something like that, or you want me to design something or show you how to do something specifically, leave that in the comments and I will look at putting together a video for you, setting that up there for you. Be it Blender, be it ChatGPT. If you want to know how to use and take advantage of ChatGPT, make it work for you, I can show you all about that. How to use, like even Mullvad VPN, if this is something that you're curious about. Now, you've seen a lot of different VPNs out there. I used to use Private Internet Access VPN. I subscribe to that. It's actually slightly cheaper, not much, but just like pennies cheaper than Mullvad. But and this Mullvad, I think I'm paying about $100 a year for this. And very easy to connect. I can select whichever country I want to connect to. Say if I'm in the Philippines, now there I am. I'm right now connected to somewhere there near and about Manila. If you look at that, and if I actually look at my location, let's open up, what's my IP address? I looked this up, and it's going to tell me right now, even though I'm in Canada, it's telling me I am in Manila. And look at that, it's showing me that right there on the map. I can click here for more details, but that's showing me where I'm at here right now. So if I'm in Manila, or if I'm in the Philippines and I want to do some banking here in Canada, I can't just log on to my bank and start using it. It's going to give me errors because, well, it's part of the protective measures to make sure people don't. That being said, I can just simply go into here. I can select Canada. Look at all these different countries I can pick. I can open up Canada, and I can select any country I want. Say Vancouver. And there we go. If I go into here now and refresh this, let's see what it says here for location. Now it's checking it, and there it is. Look at that. You can see that right there. Found me right in Vancouver. The internet service provider is tagged as Tech Futures. It's a data center in Vancouver, British Columbia. That's how it works. So now I can just simply open up my banking web page, log into it, and the bank's not going to know one way or another. So that's the beauty of that. But as you saw earlier, it can sometimes throw a wrench in there if you're trying to connect to or use specific services. Like in that case, my Blender app was trying to open up a file that was located on my own local drive here, but I accessed that drive through a network share, and that network share got blocked, and this is why it kind of hung up there. So that's one of the things, just goes to show that it does work. So Linux allows me to double stack this too. I actually use another service. If I connect to here And with that connected, I can now look at this test website here. And right now I use an anomalizer, DNS anomalizer. So what this does is it takes the actual DNS information here and it hides that from the system, from the computer. So if I'm looking at, as far as Mullvad is concerned, the VPN service, we look at the DNS information, it just has the local host on there. It doesn't know what the DNS server is, doesn't know where it's finding that DNS information from. It's just getting it right from this local computer. So it hides that information. So if you were ever visiting a malicious website by accident or got tricked or into clicking on one, it's not going to be able to find any information out about you. So that's what the beauty of all this, of Linux does, is it hides all that. It is very, very difficult in Microsoft Windows, the latest versions, Windows 11, it is very, very difficult to mask your identity. You can do everything you want, but Microsoft still broadcasts your identity out there. So even with all this stuff in place that I have, this VPN here and this NextDNS and everything, all that set up, if I open up Microsoft Edge knows exactly where I am, and it broadcasts that to websites. So if I used a VPN connection while I'm in the Philippines and said, hey, I'm in Vancouver, Canada, Microsoft Edge will tattle on me and say, no, he's not. He's still in Philippines. And I will not be able to do that banking. So if you're planning on taking your laptop to Mexico to do the same thing, that's one of the things you're going to have to face. You're going to have to use a VPN, and you can hop through a bunch of steps to get that corrected and fixed so you can trick your bank to think that you're in Canada. But it's very, very challenging with Microsoft. You can't use Microsoft Edge. You have to use a browser like Firefox. You can't use Google Chrome either. You have to use a product like Firefox, and then you have to turn a bunch of features off in Firefox, and what's called hardening it. When you harden Firefox and then combine it with the use of that VPN, then you can dial in your bank from whatever country you may be visiting to. You can dial into your bank then at that point. So Linux, in this case here, comes hardened out of the box. It is secure out of the box. And if I visit a website that has any type of malicious code on it, that malicious code is just going to hit a wall. It's not going to be able to do anything because I've done some extra steps in hardening it as well. But there you go. There's my thoughts. That's why you're going to see all my videos coming in the future on Linux, and the software I am going to be using 99.9% of the time is going to be off of a Linux platform. So that being said, I hope you enjoyed that, found it informative. Like I said earlier, sorry, kind of extended this out a little bit longer. That being said, y'all take care now. Make sure to take it easy. Make sure to keep it sexy. Take care now.